Warning, the following video might contain some stuff that might not be suitable for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. So you want to catch a leprechaun, eh? My fascination with the tricky little green bastards started 1 year ago today, St. Patrick's Day, or rather, the eve of St. Patrick's Day, where my daughter brought home one of those tiny makeshift leprechaun traps that they make in elementary schools for the holiday. It was a cute little fan, an old shoebox painted green, held by a popsicle stick tied to a sliver of green yarn. Clever, I'll give it that. It was what she said. However, as she placed the fan next to the doggy door in the kitchen, that struck me as dizzily clever. You can only catch them if you believe in them, Dad. Now that's exactly the kind of thing that a public elementary school teacher would say. If it doesn't work, you didn't believe hard enough. A good excuse, no doubt. Which leads to my first and most important point. And let's get it out of the way. You don't actually believe in leprechauns. I know, it's a cute idea. The whole pot of gold at the end of the rainbow scenario, well, let's be adults here. Scientifically speaking, anyways, rainbows have no end. They're circles, which makes the entire idea one big joke. Kids eat this stuff up, just like Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy. But just like anything that's too good to be true, it isn't. There's no pot of gold, cause there's no end to the rainbow. And there's no little Irish guy that you can catch that will magically grant you 3 wishes to let him go. Right? Well, so I thought. See? Despite my unbelief, I don't very much believe in the whole leprechaun thing, and that's the part that matters. How's the proverb go? Faith like a child? That's the idea here. So step 1 is that you need a child, presumably yours. If you don't have a child, then I question your interest in the whole leprechaun thing to begin with. But I digress. Obviously, the younger the better, because younger children tend to be more, pardon my bluntness, stupid. They believe in a lot. You'd be surprised as to how large of a community belief is in the world of the supernatural. In a word, very. Step 2 is getting to know your adversary. Just like any hunter, you got to get, at least in a rudimentary sense, an understanding of your prey. Leprechauns are small, but they aren't stupid. And I know you still don't believe in them, but they don't care. In fact, they hope you don't believe that is a part of their trick. Leprechauns are Irish folklore, obviously derivative from many of their legends and lores from the stories of Celtic fays or fairies. Unlike many types of fae, however, leprechauns are always male. Don't ask, it's magic. And just like most males, leprechauns are mischievous. And they love money, mostly gold. But you already knew that. When I said love, I already stressed love, as in, they'll kill for this gold. Think about it. Imagine being 3 to 8 inches, maybe taller, I'm not exactly sure, in stature, cutting as all hell to begin with, and scholared up on Irish whiskey. You kill anyone that tried to so much as look at your gold. So moving forward with this whole ordeal, be careful. I will not be held responsible if you're not so lucky by the end of this. Now that you've got the basics, it's time to get into the nitty-gritty. Catching a live leprechaun. You're going to feel like an idiot, but just like any idiot that strikes gold, you'll be begging for someone to pinch you because you feel like you're dreaming. Neither that or you weren't wearing any green. My daughter saw to that one. This leads me to the bait, which, if you fish, you should know this, is the key to catching the right prey. There are a couple of options, some better than others, but here's the basic breakdown. Simplest of all, you got potatoes. Leprechauns love potatoes. Not as much as gold, but as any drunk Irish dude at the pub will tell you, they love a good spud. The downside to potatoes is that you only intend to really hungry leprechauns. They're the ones won't dare stick their neck out for a quick bite. Secondly, you got shoes. I know you do. Probably some old nasty old ones sticking up your closet up to the heavens right about now. It's a little known fact that leprechauns are shoemakers, and shoe fixer-uppers for that matter. So if you leave out some worn-down shoes, most of them can't resist but mend and polish them. And hey, if all else fails, at least you have some nice shoes to fill by the end of this. Lastly, and most costly, is obviously gold. They simply can't resist it. An old gold watch, gold tooth, gold whatever will do the trick. Just make sure it's not fool's gold, or else the only fool is gonna be you. Now to trap the little runts, you're gonna need one of two feigns, a 4-leaf clover or iron. It appears that 4-leafers are 1 in 10,000, and I'm assuming the latter will be more readily available. Iron is extremely harmful to fairies of any kind, due to its contents being strictly from Earth, whatever that means. Iron is found in loads of common household products like hammers or frying pans, so it should be easy to access. Even something as simple as a metal nail will do the trick. This is magic, after all. In brief, you're going to construct a little leprechaun trap of your own. Don't overthink it. Keep it simple, just like the kiddies do. And speak of kids, it needs to be arranged in the same household as a sleeping child, as I said before. Their belief is the key to all of this. It can be small as a shoebox or as large as the entire room. Ideally, it should have only one exit point to prevent the little bastard from escaping. Place your bed of choice in a obvious spot and tie off something that makes noise to it. I need not go into every option, but use your imagination. We're talking about hunting leprechauns here. The easiest option will be to tie a tiny bell or something similar onto whatever bait you choose. That way, when the leprechaun snags it, you snag him. Leprechauns are solely fairies, which means they tend to stay out of the limelight. Which also means you probably need to be up late for this trap to work. It could be anywhere from sunset to sunrise, but a good rule of thumb is between midnight and 4 a.m. I cannot stress enough that leprechauns are tricksters. You probably won't see the little imp, but don't let your unbelief fool you. He's there. Any rapid clicks or chimes that you might hear late in the night are nothing but the belts on his shoes. If you hear them, you realize how fast these little things are. So be alert. If you ever read up on St. Patrick, you might heard the legend of how he banished all the snakes from Ireland. Some say this is half true. Some say these snakes were actually leprechauns themselves. No scholars would confirm this. Of course, keep in mind that Patrick wanted to spread Christianity in a nation full of pagans. Pagans who believe in and worship gods like Luke, a craftsman and crafty warrior, if that name doesn't ring any bells for you. Keep in mind that Luke is sometimes pronounced Lug, as in the luck of the Irish. I told you these paintings are deceptive little devils. Why else would St. Patrick call them snakes? Once you hear the audible sound of your trap snapping into action, you have but seconds to react. As I said, they're fast. If your trap's under a box, pull the string and place your iron object on top of it. If the trap is in a room, barricade the door with your iron object. It'll take only seconds for him to realize he's been caught, but even less time to think of up a trick to get himself out of it. Do not forget this. He owns you 3 wishes now. Don't be surprised if he doesn't start talking right away. He's got on your unbelief, waiting for you to lift up that box. Open that door. Don't get him the satisfaction of such a simple escape. If you successfully keep him trapped for a certain duration of time, he'll realize he's been bested and think up a new scheme to weasel his way out of his obligation of the 3 wishes. They're stingy. Don't let this one escape without your ransom payment. Some leprechaun catchers claim they heard sounds from within the traps. Sounds of helpless pets or loved ones begging to be set free, or maybe they'll watch a beloved family photograph randomly fall from the wall, prompting the use of that iron hammer also conveniently. These are all tricks. The leprechaun knows just the right buttons to press. They think humans are stupid, greedy monsters. Don't let him win. You got to be tough. You got to believe. Because when I heard the voice of my daughter from the other side of our basement door, I dumped myself in this whole leprechaun thing for a long minute. Daddy, where are my school sneakers in the basement? I can't open the door. Daddy! It's a really good trick. The kind that messes with your mind. Do not. No matter what he tells you with that lie, the sensitive tongue, open that door, lift that box. And be prepared for a long struggle. Leprechauns don't give up their gold, their wishes, their lies, easily. It might take hours, days, weeks to get the little bastard to give in. Hell, it took mine nearly a week just to give up the whole daughter mimicry charade. It hasn't spoken since, but I refuse to open the basement door until it does. I know it will. And fetching, and always remember, it owns you those 3 wishes. So that was How to Trap a Leprechaun, a creepypasta that was based around St. Patrick's Day and leprechauns. And final thoughts on it, it's pretty good, and this story wasn't that scary, until the end of it. This has a good amount of history about, how to trap a leprechaun, this creepypasta felt like a guide on how to catch a legit leprechaun, if leprechauns are real. Leprechauns are not real, I meant. And the last bit is kind of a last bit of the story is kind of dark now because the dad just trap his daughter in the basement, like thinking she's the leprechaun, which is kind of screwed up. So yeah, and wasn't that scary until the end, but has like a good amount of lore info about the leprechauns and such, and how and the different ways to trap them, by these many ways, like with pot of gold or shoes or potatoes. Yeah, pretty good creepypasta, despite the lack of scary moments until the end of it. Yeah. So anywho, I just hope you guys enjoyed this creepypasta reading video. So like and comment this video and subscribe more content. So this is Mr. Freddy here, and I hope you have a very good day. So bye bye.